We are live. So, hello everyone. Welcome to another podcast that has no name yet.
Up.
Uh, you already know him. That's Tyrese. I am Sean. You probably met me earlier, depending on which podcast comes out first. I don't know. You might see this one first. In which case, hi, I'm Sean. Uh, this is going to be a podcast. Oh, so first off, the name. So let's talk about that.
Okay.
So me and Marquise kind of came up with the idea for the other one that we would make a list of names and then make a poll on Instagram and let the people decide.
Oh, this is dope. We can do something like that.
So me and you we gotta get together and make it like a top five, something like that
Okay.
of names. So that's soon to come. But this podcast is going to be about anime, manga, all things anime and manga related. Um, Me and you watch a lot of anime.
Yep.
I would say, I would not say, some might say, an unhealthy amount of anime. Um,
Yeah, I would agree so too. Yeah.
I don't think I'm ready to agree with that yet. I don't think I'm ready to be that honest with myself. But I think so. I had an interesting conversation with my mom just to kind of kick things off. My mom
Okay.
asked me why anime was so popular now, and for a second, I really didn't have any explanation because anime is like super popular now. Anime and
Yeah.
manga is way more popular than it was before because you're not old enough to remember, but in like the early 2000s and 90s, anime was like a very underground thing. Like it wasn't like you there was like one TV channel that played anime and it was just Cartoon Network.
I would
And
assume so.
and
That's where I watch all my anime too.
even then they only played popular anime. So if you wanted to
Like
see
Dragon
something
Ball,
right,
Code.
so if you wanted to see something else, you had to literally like go online and search for it, or I'm dating myself a little bit. You had to go and rent it at a video store.
Mhm.
So like if you wanted to see an old anime movie that you couldn't find like or a show, if they had like VHS tapes of it or DVDs of it, you had to go and rent them from a store and then make copies of it when you got home. Which is illegal, kids. It was. Nobody does it anymore now, but it was illegal. So if you can do it, still don't do it.
Yeah, don't
But
do it.
we did a lot. We did a lot of that and music too. But but when I try the explanation that I sort of came up with was it seems like for every generation there's like a thing that the kids really enjoy or uh really like resonates with them, but because they're kids, like nobody cares. Like the adults don't really care.
Yeah.
But then when they get older and they're adults, they can sort of bring some of the things that they love from when they were kids back sort of into the forefront again. So
Hmm.
one of the examples that I gave her in order to relate it to her was kung fu movies.
Okay.
So my mom was born in the late 60s. In the late 60s, early 70s, and early 80s, kung fu movies were not like really a big thing in America. For the most part, action movies were like it was just guns and explosions.
Yeah.
Like you didn't really get the same kind of elaborate fight scenes that you do in movies today. But by the time that my mom's generation were adults, which would have been the 90s,
Hmm.
at that point, those kids who grew up watching kung fu movies are now able to implement it into their daily lives. Like those kids are now executives and artists and people who
Hmm.
are in a position to make decisions on things. So that's how you end up in the 90s with Wu-Tang Clan
Yep.
and, Fu Schnickens and like all these kung fu movies. Jet Li comes over to America, like Romeo Must Die, all these different like
Hmm.
huge explode, the Matrix in the early 2000s, like all these this huge explosion of like martial arts in movies.
Rush Hour can be like an example too.
Yeah, yep, Rush Hour. Like before, like I said, if you were talking about like American martial arts like movie stars, it was pretty much Bruce Lee and maybe Jim Kelly,
Yeah.
who was like, the black the black guy with the afro.
Mhm.
Like, but it was like there was not a lot. But then, like by the time you get to the '90s, it's like Jet Li, Jackie Chan, Jean
Yep.
Claude Van Damme, Steven Seagal. Like, there's all these people who just like, and you know, kung fu movies and martial arts movies as a whole just exploded, and they're everywhere.
Mhm.
Like, it's in the music, it's in fashion, it's everywhere. And anime is kind of having its time now. Like, all the kids that were born in the '90s and early 2000s, we're now adults, and that's how you see, you know, Michael B. Jordan having his he did a collaboration with Coach,
Yeah.
and they got, you know, the Naruto, the Naruto backpacks. Like, this high
Mhm.
end luxury brand is making like Naruto themed clothing. You know, Megan the Stallion does the Todoroki, you know, red and
The
white wigs.
Todoroki Tina cosplay.
Yeah, yeah. So it's
Mhm.
like it's getting to the point where the people who grew up on this stuff are in a position where they can say, you know what, this is what I like, so this is what I want to
Yep.
do. So I'm really happy about that, and I'm happy that, you know, we're in what really feels like a golden age of anime and manga.
Yeah, I
Like,
think so too.
it's really like a worldwide phenomenon now, and there's
Mhm.
so many new mangas coming out, and I don't know, it's just good times all around.
Yeah.
It seems like every year there's like this new highly anticipated anime. Um,
Mhm.
which segues us into our first topic, Chainsaw Man.
Oh boy.
So Chainsaw Man has been pushed back again.
Really?
So now they're shooting for like October
Yeah.
of this year. It was supposed to come out, for all of you who are paying attention, in November of last
Mm.
year.
Yep.
Uh, and it got pushed back again. I think part of the reason why is because Mappa is doing it,
Mhm.
and I think they're prioritizing their already running animes.
I mean, they already got like other projects like Attack on Titan.
Right. They got to
Like
do part 2 of season 4 of Attack on Titan,
Attack on Titan. Like,
and then they got to do Jujutsu Kaisen.
doesn't that come back until like next year, season two?
But they're doing the movie though.
Oh yeah, zero.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So they're like focusing all their resources on that,
Yep.
and the stuff that hasn't come out yet just keeps getting pushed back. I'm still looking forward to it. It doesn't matter
Me
when it's come
too.
out. I'm gonna watch it.
Same.
I think I think Chainsaw Man might be one of those animes, kind of like Demon Slayer, where like the anime is really it'll be better as an anime than it was to
It
read.
was the manga.
Yeah.
Like from season two from Demon Slayer, it's like the fight scene, the entertainment district. That's what really like shine with Tengen fighting
Mm-hmm.
upper rank six. I was like, I did not think that was gonna pop off like that.
Yeah. Yeah. There's certain things that are just that there are certain animes that were made, or there were certain manga that are made to be animes.
Yeah.
Demon Slayer was definitely one of them. I think Chainsaw Man is one of them.
Mm-hmm.
I think if it ever comes out, Kaiju number 8 might be one of them.
Ooh, you know, I actually just started. I actually got bought the first volume today. I
You
really like
did?
Kaiju number eight. Yep.
I'm caught up. Unfortunately, see, here's the thing that I don't like about it. They, instead of it coming out weekly, like almost every other manga,
Mm-hmm.
every other popular manga, Kaiju number 8 comes out every 2 weeks.
Really? How come?
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. I haven't figured it out yet. Uh, I have no idea. I haven't looked it up yet. I think part of the reason why was because it wasn't supposed to be a long running manga. I
Hmm.
think it was supposed to be like a shorter, like what is it called? Not a light novel series or anything like that. It was supposed to be like a shorter story, like a one off.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but it's just been getting more and more popular, and everybody loves it.
Yep.
And I honestly, you haven't read it yet, but I honestly feel like Kaiju number 8 and Chainsaw Man have a lot of similarities. I personally feel like Kaiju number 8 does it better than Chainsaw Man.
Mm.
They have similar concepts,
Well, like the
but in
main
terms of like,
characters.
yeah, but in terms of like characters and also just like just the exposition and the explanation of the world itself, like how these
Mm-hmm.
powers work and that kind of stuff, I think Kaiju number 8 does it better than Chainsaw Man. But the storylines are almost identical.
Really?
Yeah. They're almost identical. Like you've already seen it. Have you seen have you seen have you seen the creation of Kaiju number 8 yet where he like gets his powers and
Like
everything?
he actually becomes the actual kaiju?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I know that he works for an organization that takes out kaijus. Now that I think about it, yeah, there's
Well,
similarities.
so what happens is he actually there's the formal organization that's
Mm-hmm.
recognized by like and backed by the government and everything like that. He works for a service that
To clean
yeah,
up the
that
bodies of the
they
kaijus.
clean up the bodies. Which right off the bat when I read that I was like this is great because almost no other manga, movie, TV show, whatever has shown who the fuck is going to clean up all this.
Yeah, that's true.
Like even with the Avengers, it's like who cleans up after that?
That's true.
So it's like I was already very happy to see that they gave him a role where he's involved, but he's like sort of on the side skirts and on the like he's on the outside looking in. He's not
Mm-hmm.
one of the people actually killing kaiju. He's just part of the cleanup crew.
Yep.
Uh, so I thought that was really cool. But you haven't seen the moment where he actually gets his powers yet.
No, not yet.
Okay, I won't spoil it for you, but it's it happens very fast. It doesn't happen exactly the same way as in
With Chainsaw Man.
Chainsaw Man, but it's a similar situation.
Okay.
Um, but yeah, I that's another one though. Like if hopefully it gets animated, but the way it comes out because it's coming out every 2 weeks, I don't think it will. There's just
Hopefully, I
not.
hope so.
It's been out for like almost 2 years, and there's like 60 chapters.
Really?
Yeah,
Wow, I thought it was more than that.
it's been out for like a year and a half, and there's like maybe 60, 62 chapters
Wow.
because it comes out because at first it was
Uh,
like it wasn't even coming out bi-weekly. I think they dropped like 5 chapters at once,
mm,
and then just like it was gone for like a month, and then they started doing it bi-weekly. So I don't know what's up with
mm.
that, but it comes out on Viz every 2 weeks. Now compare that to something else, which I don't know if you watch it, but another anime that I really like, and I'm reading the manga now. Uh, but it's one of those ones where like manga, anime, it could be either one, and it's just as good. Uh, Tokyo Revengers.
I've I've watched the anime for Tokyo Revengers. I have not picked up from the manga. Like I've read that like I've read after what happened from the last season. I know what happens
Okay,
after the last season. That's the only part I've read.
okay, that's one of the few that like the anime can only do so much because there's nothing crazy really happening.
Hmm.
Like they're just fighting. They're just badass kids fighting
Just
in alleyways.
middle schoolers.
Yeah,
Not even high schoolers, middle schoolers just beating
middle
the
school.
shit
Well,
out of each
no,
other.
no, no. Some of them are high school. Draken and Mikey are 15 and 16.
Oh yeah, they are.
Uh, Baji's 15, I think. Some of the older members are in high school, but
Okay.
but uh, Takemichi is like 13, so
Yeah.
he's middle school. He's like a second year or third year in middle school,
Yeah.
and then like all his friends are in middle school.
Hmm.
Most of them are in middle school. It seems like that's like the recruiting age.
Yeah.
Like that's when you want to get them. That's when you want to get them in, and that's when they all like start showing like signs of, I guess, criminal activity. I don't know, but
Yep.
as the amount of like strength that they have as like 13 to 16 year olds just makes no sense. Like they're beating adults up,
Right.
not with powers. Like this is not. I cannot stress this enough. Anybody who has not watched Tokyo Revengers, this is not a shonen like Naruto or Bleach or any. There's no powers. This is just it's just these.
Just straight
It's
hands.
straight hands. And if you're Mikey, hands and flip flops.
You really be knocking out people with slides though.
Yup.
That's the crazy
Yup.
part.
it's just hands, and they just like they just destroy everybody. It's
Yep.
amazing. And then ride off on motorcycles. How many middle
Mm-hmm.
schoolers do you know that can beat up adults and then ride their motorcycle off into the sunset? Like it makes no sense. But I love
Mm-hmm.
it.
Same. I love it too.
It makes being in a I shouldn't say this, but it does make being in a gang look cool. I know it's not really like this, but it makes being in a gang look
Yeah.
cool. It makes being in a biker gang look cool. Same thing with One Piece. One Piece makes being a pirate look cool, even though being a
Right.
pirate always looked cool.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, so let's talk about One Piece for a second. Where are you in One Piece? By the way, actually, I'm sorry. Wait, before you start, let me just remind everybody. I let everybody know I was the one who got this man to watch One Piece. So everybody
Yes,
out
you
there in the One
have.
Piece community, he was converted by me. I did it.
Mm-hmm.
You're all welcome, and you're welcome.
Thank you. Thank you. Now I'm a honorary member of the Straw Hat Pirates.
Yes, you are. Or you can even make your own. That's a popular thing too. People
That's a good. I can
make
make my
their own
own
Jolly
pirate.
Roger. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So where are you right now?
So I'm at the middle of the Dressrosa arc when Luffy and them decided to go to Dressrosa to take down Doflamingo.
Right. Okay.
He's like in the tournament part where he found out like Ace's Devil Fruit was up for the prize.
Right in the Coliseum.
Yep.
Yeah.
And I was like, he was like, nope, I'm not letting nobody get my brother's power. And then he met Sabo again. It was like he needed that.
It's interesting looking back, knowing what we know now, and I'm not gonna spoil anything for you. But well, this is information you already know. But Luffy got his devil fruit from Shanks.
Yeah, he wasn't supposed to eat the devil fruit. He just happened to find it and just ended up eating it.
Right. But Shanks just had it.
Yeah, he just had it.
So when you looking back at that whole arc with Dressrosa, the fact that Doflamingo decided to collect the Flare fruit, and the fact that
Mm.
Luffy wanted it, but he
Yep.
didn't want to eat it, it shows that people just harbor devil fruits,
Yeah.
not even to eat them, just to have them, like just for no reason. And I always thought that that was kind of interesting, and even now in the story, they still haven't really explained it, but like I always wonder what it was that made Shanks go and get the
The
gum gum
gum gum
fruit
fruit. Yeah.
if he wasn't going to eat it himself.
That's an interesting idea. I always thought about it too. Like I thought at some point he was going to eat it himself and get rubber powers like Luffy, but I was like, what was the point? Was he going to like sell it or just hold it on?
Right.
Like what Doflamingo did with the flare fruit?
Because even with Luffy, like he said, I want it. Like it was Ace's devil fruit. I want to have it to
Hmm.
because it was my brother's. He never
Even
says
though
he never says what he's gonna do with it.
I mean, even though he really couldn't eat it,
Yeah,
he still don't want anybody else to.
exactly.
He still don't want anybody like a rando just get his power.
Yeah, which is weird because it's like it's not it's not him. Like it's not Ace.
This is devil fruit power.
Yeah, so it was odd. It was
Yeah.
odd, but it also like shed some light on, I guess Shanks's maybe his thinking of like why he maybe went after the gum gum fruit because like I said, they still haven't explained it.
Yeah.
But who knows? But yeah, One Piece. So One Piece is my favorite story so far of like all the manga and anime that I've watched and read. One
Mhm.
Piece is my favorite story. It is not my favorite anime. Um, I don't even know if I would say it's been my favorite manga to read so far. Like, I think I've enjoyed other manga, like reading them just as much as I've enjoyed One Piece. But as
Mhm.
far as the overarching story, the overall story, I don't think I've enjoyed a story quite to the same level that I have with One Piece. Like to the point where it doesn't matter what format it's in. It could be
Mhm.
like Oda could just write it out, like literally just write out a novel for the
Yep.
rest of One Piece, and I would read it.
Same.
Like it could be a manga, it could be an anime, it could be just words. He could just speak, and I'll sit there and
He can
listen
just
to
do
it.
whatever he want with One
Yeah,
Piece, and
yeah.
it'll
Like
still be golden.
the story itself, like is so uh big, like it's so grand.
That's what really got me into One Piece in the
Yeah,
first. Like you said, the world of One Piece is like grand with East Blue, West Blue,
yep,
South Blue, North Blue, the Grand Line, the Red Line. It's
yep,
like there's so many characters and like so many stories. It doesn't just focus on like one group of characters like Destroy It. It focuses on like every pirates, like the Heart Pirates with Law and like
yeah,
the Kid Pirates and Killer, the Supernovas and what they doing, especially like Blackbeard and
yeah,
what his grand plan and doing. That's
yeah.
what I really like about One Piece.
Like they're the Straw Hats and Luffy, like they're the main characters, but the story's not about
Overall,
them.
around
Yeah,
them.
yeah. That's what's really cool. And you
Hmm.
know when we talk about the world, you know, it wasn't until I started reading and watching One Piece that I realized just how small all of the other worlds and like all of the other major animes are.
Hmm.
Like even with Dragon Ball, like they go to multiple planets, but even then it's like every time they go somewhere, they go to like one place.
Yeah,
Like every time in Dragon Ball, they go to like there's like 3 cities in Dragon Ball
pretty
on the
much.
planet. And then they go to Namek and they go to one place on Namek. It's like
Yeah.
everywhere that they go, it's like it's just one thing. Whereas like with One Piece, there's all these different islands. Everyone is different.
There's
Every
different
single
situations, there's different
yeah,
political things going on, and
even
internal affairs. Is like
right.
if
And
only Dragon Ball has something like that.
even one island can have vastly different areas.
Yes.
You know, like is there's so much information and the unlike something like Hunter x Hunter, which Hunter x Hunter is like for 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 what it is, it's a pretty big world, but even
Hmm.
then, as a reader or watcher, you don't even know that until the end of the series.
Yeah.
For most of the series, it's like, oh, okay, there's like 2 continents, maybe, and they travel
Yeah.
between like these areas, and then by the end, you find out about the dark continent, and it's
Continent.
like
Yep.
like it's almost like they kind of pulled it out of nowhere
Yeah.
just for the sake of continuing the story. Whereas with One Piece, it's like you've known from the very beginning, like there's multiple oceans, let
Yep.
alone continents. Like there's a huge amount of space out there, like unexplored area and territory.
They just
And
made it to the new world, so who knows
right,
what the hell is out? Who knows what else is out in the new world? There's like
and
plenty of islands out there.
not only that, Reese, they still haven't even explored the other blues.
They really they only explored the East Blue in a minute and just went for the Grand Line.
Yep,
What?
they explored like half the East Blue. Not
That's
even
true.
that, like a quarter of the East Blue. Just
Like
this
after
what they had to go through to get to the Grand Line.
Like I feel like after what was it? After the Arlong arc, Arlong
Mm-hmm.
Park, I feel like they just went for the Grand Line. They didn't travel everywhere
Yep.
else in East Blue. Like after they like helped Nami with her situation, they just went to the town where Roger was executed and just
Yep.
made a beeline to the Grand Line. Like
Because
I want to,
they were only focused on the necessities at that point. They were like the Grand Line is the goal, but we need a navigator and we need a chef.
yeah, pretty much.
After that, we can go. It's like they were only focused on having what they needed to survive.
Yep,
They could have gotten a doctor in the East Blue,
that's true.
but they were just like, we'll figure that out later. Like
We'll pick
chef
a
is more
doctor up on
important.
the way.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, they still haven't even explored the other blues yet. But what I do like is that they're not just out there and we don't know about them. We know about them already. We've known about them since the beginning of the series. We've known characters who have come from there since the beginning of the series. You know,
Mhm.
and Shanks is from the West Blue. Uh so
Lost
it's
from the
like,
North Blue.
yep. So it's like we've they tell us about it, but they don't show us. They don't show us
Hmm.
until it's relevant. You
Yep.
know, even Wano, like we've known about Wano for like forever, all the way
I
going back
remember
to
I remember Ace was mentioning that he went to Wano.
yeah, yeah. Like it's. I love that. And see, that's one of the benefits of having a story that's been going on for as long as One Piece has, because it's like they give themselves the time to be like, you know what, we're gonna tell you this, we're gonna give you this bit of information, but we're just not gonna explain it any further
Hmm.
because you'll get that later. Like some of the payoffs, like with like one of my favorite arc personally of One Piece is Water 7.
That's a good arc.
And part of the reason why is actually everything that happens after Annie's lobby when they get back to Water 7 and Garp shows up.
Yep.
So I really love like those lore dumps where it's like we just get a whole bunch of information at once. And when Garp comes and it's like all the dots start to connect where we realize like, oh, this is who Kobe and Helmeppo have been training with.
Yep.
This is who Aokiji was talking about when he told Luffy, your gramps helped me out a while back.
Mm-hmm.
Like this is like it all starts to make sense and the pieces start to connect. Oh,
Yep.
this is why Dragon helped Luffy escape because he's his fucking
'Cause
dad.
Yep.
So it's like, you know, I really like that kind of stuff. And not only like not a lot of animes really do that well.
Yep.
Naruto did for a while and then it kind of got out of hand. Bleach, same thing, did for a while and then it sort of got out of hand.
Yeah.
It's like, speaking of Bleach, like, are you excited about it coming back? You know, the
The
anime's
1,000-year blood war.
Yeah.
Yep.
I'm excited about it. I'm excited about it, but I'm also a little like I'm excited to see the fights. But
Yeah,
that's
same.
That's it. That's
pretty much it.
Because that whole arc was like where the story kind of went off the rails.
Yeah.
Like I'm not even going to get into the Soul King being the guy from the Oblongs where he's just like got no arms or legs and it just doesn't make any sense. But like that the Squad Zero like they hyped up Squad Zero for them to get decimated in like 3 chapters.
Yep.
Like it just it was terrible. And then they spoilers by the way if you haven't finished Bleach, but then they said Ichigo's mom was a Quincy. So it's like, oh, Ichigo has Soul Reaper and Quincy and
Really?
Hollow, all everything. He's everything.
He's everything.
Yeah, and it's just like, come on, man. It's like you're taking the chosen one thing too far now. Cause it's like it's too much. This doesn't make any sense. So I don't know. Like I said, I'm excited to see the fights. Hunter x Hunter is still going. I haven't caught up with it yet.
Me neither.
I stopped reading Hunter x Hunter after the Secession arc where they're trying to figure out who's going to be the next chairman.
That's what I stopped reading at. That's where I stopped reading too.
Yeah. It part of me felt like the story was supposed to end there. I mean, I think it was. I think it was supposed to end there and they decided to just keep it going. But it's I don't know. It's tough because there are a lot of stories that you can tell were not written to be this long.
Yeah.
Whereas One Piece was. Like it's almost the opposite. Like One Piece was written to be long, but Oda didn't expect to actually get this much time to do it.
Yeah.
Whereas a lot of other ones were like written to be a little bit shorter, but they were so successful that the studios were like, no, you got to keep going. So, you know, but here's my question.
Okay.
And if depending on your answer, I'll need some advice from you. Have you ever been to an anime convention?
No, but July I'm going to this thing that's called BlurCon.
You are?
Yeah.
Okay. I wanted to go to DreamCon.
I wanted to too.
This year, but I missed it. They look like a lot of fun.
It does. I was planning on cosplaying too. For the first day of BlurCon, I plan on dressing up as Law.
Okay, you're gonna be very popular.
But I haven't decided. But I haven't decided if I wanted to go. No, I'll probably go the Shaba Odi Archipelago outfit he wore, the hoodie.
Yeah,
I'll probably go that route.
Easier too, because it'll be summertime. You don't want to have a whole trench coat on.
I don't want to have a whole black trench coat on.
Yeah. But yeah, that everybody loves Law, and I'm not gonna say I don't like Law. I don't get it.
You don't like Law?
Is that might be an unpopular opinion? It's not that I don't dislike Law. I just don't get why everybody likes him.
One thing, he does look pretty cool. the
He
task, everything. I also
he
like his
does.
devil fruit ability. I also like his devil fruit ability.
Yes, that is very cool, and it gets better. I won't spoil
It
it,
does get
but
better.
in Wano he's done some stuff.
So I've
But
heard.
oh, okay, so yeah, I don't dislike Law, but Law for me is like very one note, if that makes sense. Like he reminds me a little bit of like Kakashi, not in a
Well, I
good
knew you were
way.
gonna say Kakashi.
Yeah, like Kakashi's like they're not one dimensional in terms of like who they are as characters, but
Hmm.
in terms of like their behavior, like they're very just sort of one dimensional, kind of like across the board. Just like they have no emotion. Like they like their voice never changes. Like they don't yell, they don't get upset. They're
Hmm.
kind, and then when they do, it's like it's almost weird.
Hmm.
Like with Luffy, like he's such a dynamic character. We've seen Luffy cry, we've seen Luffy angry, we've seen Luffy happy, like we've seen him
Yep.
confused, we've seen him try and like do an awful job at lying.
Yep.
Like we've seen him fighting, we've seen him getting his ass beat. Like we've seen Luffy do everything. With
Hmm.
Law, it's like he's kind of just so even keel that it's like I don't know. He Law's
I get
Law's
what you're
kind of
saying.
Law's kind of boring to me.
I get what you're saying.
But his devil fruit is amazing. It's
And ap-
it's one of the most powerful devil fruits I think in the story.
yeah, in terms
It's
of
definitely one of them.
Paramecius, yeah.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Uh, Like it's funny because whenever people ask like what devil fruit, if you could have anybody's devil fruit, which one would you pick? Law is always up there. Law, Whitebeard,
Yeah, I would have
mm,
Whitebeard. Either Laws or
Marco.
Whitebeard. I would love. Actually, now that I think about it, if I was like a devil, if I had a devil fruit ability, I would like to be a zone type.
See, it's tough. I think if I was gonna be a zone, I would have to be a mythical zone
As a mythical zone. Like I would have to be
because
like,
like Marco or somebody like that.
yeah,
Like because here's the thing, and I talked about mythical zones a little bit on my YouTube channel, but what makes mythical zones so cool is that they're essentially a zone combined with the paramecia
yeah.
because you get the ability to transform into this creature, which is the zone thing, and you also get
Oh,
the added like physical durability and strength and everything, but you
yeah,
also get another power, which is whatever that mythical creature's power was.
yeah. Like Marco, he can turn into a phoenix. Now he can control flames and heal himself.
Yeah, he can heal himself. He can heal other people. Like
Yep.
uh what's his name? Sengoku.
He the
Sengoku
Buddha.
is he's the Buddha. He's the mythical Hito human fruit
Human fruit
model
motto.
Buddha.
Yep.
So he can transform into Buddha. He basically becomes a giant, but he also can make shockwaves with his
Yep.
palm. So it's like
Mm,
if I was to be a zone, if I had to pick zone, it would be a mythical zone.
yep.
Otherwise, I would probably pick a Paramecia or a Logia.
Like control a natural element like Logan, you can get that intangibility. That'd be nice.
Yeah. Like I think I would probably pick either Aokiji or Kizaru. I mean not Kizaru.
Well, Akinu.
Akainu. Yeah.
Oh, his
Be-
magma fruit.
yeah. Cause the thing is, like the thing that most people don't talk about, their devil fruits are cheat codes.
All three of
Because
the admirals, all three of them got Logias. They all
yeah.
could like dodge attacks.
But
They could pass right through them.
here's why Aokiji and Akainu's devil fruits are cheat codes though. And what nobody not nobody, but what a lot of people fail to realize, right? Devil fruits devil fruit users' weakness is water, right?
Yeah,
Both of them can make their own land.
that's true.
Like Aokiji literally rides his bike across the ocean,
Yeah,
like
you can
just
literally flip
unfazed.
the ocean over.
Akainu can just make land, like he can literally make rocks.
Hmm.
So neither one of them ever really have to worry about drowning.
That's true.
So it's like people, their devil fruits are great just on their own, but the fact that you can work around the whole drowning issue by
That's another thing.
just making yourself something to stand on,
Hmm.
that's kind of OP. That's kind of
Yeah.
OP.
Hmm.
But if I had to pick a paramecia, it would be It would be Law or would I pick Whitebeard? I don't know if I would pick Whitebeard. I guess I would.
The
I
tremor
might pick,
tremor fruit.
but see, Whitebeard's is like Whitebeard's his fruit is strong, but it's just strong for attack
I was about
purposes.
to say that is primarily for offense
Exactly, exactly. But there's so many devil fruits that are like great for offense and
and
something
defense.
else. Like Big Mom. Like I would take Big Mom's fruit. I know you don't know what it is, so I'm not gonna tell you. But her devil fruit is really interesting. Like it's not really in and of itself. It's not really an attack devil fruit, but
Mm-hmm.
she can make attacks with it.
Really?
Same thing with Law. Like Law's devil fruit is not made for attacking people. He's a doctor. Like
Yeah.
he makes a surgery room, but in that room he can do whatever he
What do
wants.
you want? Like
So if he
take
wants to
people's
cut you
heart
in
outs,
half, exactly,
switch people's
exactly,
personalities. Is like
right.
wow.
So it's like it can be used as an for attack for a whole host of other reasons. Like he holds people hostage
Mm-hmm.
without even having to contain them. He just takes their heart out and it's like, all right, you do some stupid shit, I'll stab you in the heart. Like
Yep.
I don't even have to be on the same island as you. Like I literally
Right.
have your heart in my hand. I can just go off and do whatever I want,
Mm-hmm.
and you can't do anything about it. So it's like devil fruits like that are the ones that really intrigue
Yep.
me. But I would take a mythical zone first,
Mm-hmm.
and if I couldn't get one of those, I would take a paramecia devil fruit like them.
Yep.
I would. Part of me would say Blackbeard's, but the pain thing, like
Oh yeah.
the fact that he feels pain worse than what it actually is, that's what turns me off of Blackbeard's fruit.
I mean, but the upside is that you could like nullify everybody's devil fruits, but it's like you
Yeah,
still feel that added pain.
you can nullify people's devil fruits. You have like he has that storage thing. Like what's his name? Caribou, the mud guy.
Oh yeah.
Like you can he can store things. Well, see, Caribou's is better because it doesn't destroy anything, but Blackbeard can literally like absorb anything. Like
Mm-hmm.
like you saw in the fight with Ace, he absorbed a whole town.
Yep.
So it's like the fact that you can just erase things off the map without
Mm-hmm.
having to move at all.
And just drop them off later on.
Yeah, and then just drop it off wherever. The
Yep.
problem is it's going to be destroyed when you do it because it compresses everything.
Yep.
Caribou's just literally is like it sinks in.
Mm-hmm.
But that's another advantage too. Like being able to just have that kind of effect over such a wide area where you can just destroy all this stuff at once without even having to move.
Yep.
So I like Blackbeard's fruit, and then of course it's black. I like black's my
Mm-hmm.
favorite color. So like that was a huge thing too.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, honestly, you might think I'm crazy. I like Gecko Moria's fruit.
The shadow fruit.
I like Gecko
I
Moria's
find
fruit
his I find his interesting. You could just like take people's shadow and store them
and take their
and like
abilities.
and take their abilities like he did with Luffy's a little bit.
Yeah, and put it in something else. Like the zombie idea, like the zombie army.
Mm-hmm.
Like if you put Gecko Moria, if he was to take these people's shadows and just hold them within himself, which he can, and he just went to like a marine cemetery, like
Yep.
all those soldiers are now his puppets.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? In addition to being able to use shadows to make himself stronger or to make it so people can't go out in sunlight, like
Mm-hmm. You also get
his
those added abilities from the shadows you
yeah,
took. Like if you
exactly.
took Zoro's shadow, you could inherit his three sword style.
Yep,
You if you took Sanji's, you can do all his shit he does with his
yep,
legs, like Diable Jambe and all that shit. I, I
exactly.
I find that interesting.
I like Moria's fruit. I don't like Moria. He got on my
Uh,
nerves.
yeah,
He's one of the most annoying characters to me just because of his laugh. I cannot stand his laugh.
me neither.
I hate his laugh so much. I do like that Oda gives the characters unique laughs. They
Mm-hmm.
each have their own laugh, but I
Yep,
hate the one he chose for Moria. I couldn't stand it. Anytime he popped up in Marineford, I just skipped it.
same.
Like I hate his laugh so much. But so let's pivot for a second.
Okay.
My Hero Academia.
Okay.
How far are you? Because
Damn.
I know you stopped for a while.
I stopped for a while. I stopped the part where, should I say this? A spoiler alert?
No, I'm already caught up.
I mean,
So here's the thing. When we talk about an anime, let's
okay,
establish this rule now. That
okay,
in itself, for everybody watching this, that is your spoiler alert. Okay, we are about to talk about a story that you may be reading. Just spoiler alert.
yeah,
Okay, so be warned. If you're watching this, there might be spoilers depending on
yeah,
what you are reading slash watching. I feel like anybody watching any anime videos or podcasts, that's a given.
yeah.
But where are you right now?
In the manga, I stopped the part where Deku. It was like everybody was trying to stop Deku from leaving. That was like the last part I
Okay.
remember.
Okay. From leaving UA.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. But you saw the first war when Shigaraki
Yes.
wakes up.
Yes.
Okay.
That was insane.
That was one of my favorite parts of the story.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think there's ever been a manga or anime that's taken a harder left turn.
Yeah.
Because My Hero Academia was not this dark when it started.
It was. It really wasn't.
And honestly, it turned a lot of people off. Like I don't know if you know who Roger Space is on YouTube. He makes like One Piece
Oh, I
videos.
heard it. Yeah.
So he was saying like around that time was when he had to stop reading it because he was like it wasn't appealing to him anymore. Now for
Mm-hmm.
me, on the other hand, I started to like it way more when that happened.
Same.
That was part of the reason why I stopped watching Boruto because I was just like coming from Naruto and then Naruto Shippuden. I was like, this is not bloody enough. Like this is just it's just not. There's nothing happening. Like I'm not invested in these stories. I'm not
It's
invested in these
like it's
characters.
like when I watched the anime, it was like filler on top of filler. It's like when
Yeah.
Naruto unlocked that eye, we saw views of it, but they didn't like go into depth of what
Right.
it actually was.
Right. Right. It felt like the whole thing felt like filler or like a really long movie
Filler.
that
Yeah.
wasn't canon.
I don't know if I don't know if Boruto was at that part where I saw him like on like this hill when he was fighting what's his name? Are they at that part yet or no? Like when it showed at the beginning of the anime?
Yeah, I think they might be close. I think they might be close because they have introduced that character. I know who you're talking about. I don't know his name, but he's got like the scar too, like on his
Yeah, and he
face.
got the thing on
Yeah,
his arm. Yeah.
yeah. I know they have introduced that character. I don't think they've gotten to that point yet because I think they're still they're still young.
Okay.
Um, but that's the thing. Like everything that I hear is like, "Oh, Boruto is getting crazy. Boruto is getting crazy." And it's just like, do I really want to watch through all the stuff that made me dislike the show just so I can get to the stuff that people say is good?
And even if like something crazy happened with in Boruto, it's usually like Naruto and Sasuke doing something.
Right, right. Which is what we wanted. Like,
You know?
if you were gonna make a continuation of Naruto, what
And
we
just do
wanted
that.
was just to watch them as adults,
Yeah.
not to watch their kids.
Mm-mm.
But I guess it keeps with the theme of the show with like the kids being the main characters, but at the same time it's like these aren't interesting kids.
Yeah, it's like
Like
Naruto and Sasuke. Their parents
these
usually steal the show.
these kids kind of suck. Like but I think the biggest issue is like I said, there just wasn't enough conflict,
Mm-hmm.
which kind of like coincides with Legend of Korra. Like when I watched Legend of Korra, it just didn't
Mm-hmm.
seem like it had the same sense of urgency that
As
Avatar
Aang.
did.
Yeah.
Yeah, like they were saving the world. Where like season one of Legend of Korra is like they're fighting the mafia, which is
Yeah.
like that's cool. But in Avatar, that would have been an episode, not a
Pretty much.
season. So it's like, it's one of those things where it's like after you save the world, now what?
Mm-hmm.
And that's one of those things that a lot of animes sort of fall into, where it's like you have to continuously create new threats.
Mm-hmm.
Like Naruto, people forget when Naruto started, it was about literally ninjas, like
Yeah.
like throwing stars, kunai,
Now we're going.
punching.
Now we're
Now
going
we're
to
fighting
fighting
aliens.
God, fighting
yeah,
aliens,
yeah. Now we're
fighting
fighting
God.
aliens. It's the same
Yeah.
thing with Dragon Ball. When Dragon Ball started, Goku was just a really strong kid. It was loosely based off of uh Son Goku. The
A Monkey
Monkey
King.
King. But he was just a kid who was really strong, and there was Krillin, who was also strong, and like they were just strong kids fighting in tournaments and stuff. But now
And
it's like,
find a red ribbon army.
right now it's like they're fighting aliens. Goku's an alien. Now they're
Yeah.
fighting aliens from another universe. Like it's like all these different. It just has to. You have to
Mm-hmm.
continuously make it bigger and bigger and bigger until eventually it's just like, bro, what are we doing?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's like Goku's constantly like, I'm trying. I want to be the strongest, and then he does it, and then somebody else comes up out of nowhere, and it's just like, where was this person at this whole time?
Exactly.
Like he finally becomes the strongest person, and then the literal god of destruction comes, and it's like,
Just woke up from his sleep and decided
yeah,
one day, oh, I
yeah,
want to fight the Super
just
Saiyan
happens
guy.
to
Come bring
wake
him
up.
out.
Yeah, just happens to wake up from his sleep at like this perfect moment. Yeah, and that's again, I don't want to give One Piece too much praise, but I think that's part of what makes One Piece kind of cool is that they haven't they haven't done it yet. Like it's been out for 20 years and they haven't saved the world yet.
No.
Partially because they've been like unlike shows like Naruto or Bleach or whatever where it's like you're normally the readers know about the villain before the main character does.
Mm-hmm.
Where in One Piece, we don't know anything.
Yeah.
It's like, so part of the reason why you can kind of keep it going and keep prolonging this big, save the world thing is because, as far as we know, the world doesn't need to be saved. Like, Luffy can die tomorrow, and technically nothing really changes.
Yeah.
Like, the world just keeps going as it has been. Whereas, like, in Bleach or in Naruto or in all these other things, it's like, if Naruto dies in that third war arc, the world's destroyed.
Yeah.
Like if you know Ichigo dies fighting Aizen, the world's destroyed.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like Luffy hasn't had that. Luffy hasn't had the world literally depending on him yet,
Yeah,
and it
that's true.
probably never will because, again, unlike those other shonen in One Piece, the bad guy is kind of already won. We're
Yeah.
not we're not fighting to stop a bad guy. It's like the bad guy is already in charge. Like if the big enemy is the world government is already there. Like it's already in power.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So we're not trying to prevent anything. It's just you're trying to topple something that's already there. If you
Mm-hmm.
if you can't do it, then really just nothing changes. The
Yeah.
world doesn't get destroyed. So when you have shows like Dragon Ball where it's like Frieza's coming to Earth, we have to stop him or else Earth will be destroyed. And then you stop him and it's like, now what?
Yeah. Now what?
It's like,
Keep training or
yeah,
whatever.
you kind of just wrote yourself into a corner because this guy was supposed to be the villain and now
Mm-hmm.
he's gone. So there's no villain anymore. And that's what Boruto is dealing with. It's like, all right, well, let's bring some more aliens down. The show that
Taking
was
the Dragon
about
Ball Z route.
ninja fights. we'll we'll bring some more aliens down. So I don't know. I love Naruto. I'm not here to shit on Naruto or Bleach or anything like that. But a lot of shows I feel like I said, they were meant to be shorter stories,
Mm-hmm.
which is part of why I think. And this is interesting because I haven't really given it much thought, but now it's just kind of occurred to me. It's part of the reason why there aren't any more long shows.
That's true.
Like the long, like 100+ episode, 200 episode, in the case of One Piece, 1,000 episode
Yeah.
animes, those are done. Like nobody's watching those anymore because there's so much stuff coming out.
Yep.
So it's like you're getting 3 seasons max. Like
Hmm.
that's all we can afford to give you because we literally have to make room for new shows. So it's like Demon Slayer. The fact that I was able to read all of Demon Slayer in like 2 years or 3 years
Right.
was crazy. Demon Slayer, Chainsaw Man. I think even My Hero is about to end soon.
Yeah.
So it's like that. I think more and more we're gonna see shows that don't have that issue, like Naruto or Bleach or Fairy Tail. Fairy Tail.
Fairy tale.
Yeah, but we'll start to see less and less of that. Where like shows run for forever and eventually get to the point where it's just like, bro, this should have ended three
Yeah.
seasons ago.
Hmm.
Which is kind of bittersweet because part of me really likes that. Like I like having a show that I can depend on to always just kind of be there, and there's always a
Hmm.
new episode coming out. Like I'll be sad when One Piece ends.
Oh yeah, for sure. I would be
Like
sad too.
I'll be actually sad, which is crazy because as much as I love Naruto, I was not sad when Naruto ended.
Me neither.
Like it was such a weird feeling. It was just like, oh okay, like I guess this is it. But it
Yeah.
was like it wasn't like I want to see the rest of these people's lives. Same thing with Bleach. Like when it ended, it was just like okay. It
Yeah.
was just like all right, I guess
It was a
that's it.
fun ride. Guess that's it
Right,
then.
right. But when One Piece ends, I think I'll actually be sad.
Yeah.
Like Avatar. When Avatar ended, I was actually sad.
Oh my. Yeah.
I was so hyped when Legend of Korra came back, and it was like it was a letdown. And I don't want to be one of those people that like shits on Korra because it wasn't a bad show.
It wasn't bad.
It was just you can't help but compare it to Avatar.
I mean, I would have loved to see like a little like tidbits of Aang. It's like when Korra
Right.
started, Aang is already dead.
Right.
Sokka is dead. I actually cried when I heard that Sokka actually died.
Yeah. 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 It was sad. It was like
And he didn't have any
we
kids too. He could have easily had kids.
right. We don't even know. Like you had to read the comics to find out. Like
Hmm.
we don't know what happened with him and Suki.
Yeah.
We don't know. Like we don't know who Toph's baby daddy is.
Yeah.
Like there was so much stuff, so much information that was left on the table that we just never found out.
Hmm.
And then to pick up with Korra, it was just like you were just thrust into this new story. But like I said, you can't help but compare,
Yeah.
and it just didn't compare. It was, and it sucks because I think it had a lot of potential, but
Hmm.
Nickelodeon just kind of ruined it because like obviously the people who made Avatar knew that you know the people who watched Avatar as a kid, they're not kids anymore.
Hmm.
So it's like they tried to make it a little bit more adult and a little bit more grown up with like some
Yeah.
of the issues, like the love triangle stuff, and like
Yeah.
having the mob and Iman, who's like having like racism even, or between the benders and non-benders, like having
Yep.
more grown up like uh conflicts and concepts.
Hmm.
But then Nickelodeon just like you know it's still a kids network. This is still a kid show. You can't show certain things. You can't say certain things. It's like they were going for a darker, more adult vibe, and they just couldn't do what they really wanted to do with it. And then Nickelodeon kept like changing their schedule, and then
Hmm.
they put it online, and it was like they kept telling them like, oh, we're gonna give you one season. So they wrote the first season as like a one off, and then they were like, oh, you know what, this did pretty well, so we'll give you another one. So then it's like they fell into that anime trope where it's like you gotta create another villain. Whereas like this, we wrote this to be one season. Now we have to literally make a whole nother conflict just to keep the story going when it was never supposed to. Because
Hmm.
I thought even though the first season, like I said, I didn't love it that much. If Legend of Korra ended after the first season, I would have liked it a lot more. As it
Same.
went on, it kind of started to go further and further downhill. But again, I blame it more on Nickelodeon than anything else, than the writers, because like I said, they were trying, they were going for something, and Nickelodeon just wouldn't let them do it. And
Yeah.
then when they had that episode where they killed the Earth Queen, because that was the whole thing. Like Nick
Oh
doesn't let
yeah.
you Nick doesn't let you kill people. Nickelodeon won't let you kill somebody in a show. That was
Literally took
why.
the breath away from her. That was like,
Yeah, that was like why Aang couldn't kill the Fire Lord and like all this other stuff. Like
yeah.
obviously they wrote it really well.
Mm-hmm.
But then when they got to Legend of Korra and they killed the Earth Queen, that was when Nick was just like, "All right, you're canceled." Like they canceled him. They canceled him for like a month, and then they just started putting the episodes online and didn't tell anybody.
Really,
Like
I'm surprised they didn't cancel it after what happened with Amon, with his brother and all that. When it was on
that
that
was
boat.
the reason why was because that was supposed to be the end of the season. Remember, that was
Yeah,
supposed to be the end of the that was supposed to be the end of the series. So it was only
yeah. It's
supposed to
like
be it was only supposed to be one season.
I didn't
So
know. I didn't
so
know
if they
why they
ended
stretched
it,
it like that.
it was supposed to only be one season. So if they ended it there, it was like no, it was no point in canceling it because like the show's over.
Mm-hmm.
But then when they got it, but then when they renewed it and they did it again, then it's like, all right, now we got to cancel you
Mm-hmm.
because they had a lot. Unlike Amon, which was that was like the last episode, I think, or second to last episode of the first season with the Earth Queen. That happened in the beginning of the season.
Yeah.
So it was like, we can't, we're not gonna let this continue for another 11 episodes.
Mm-hmm.
So, and then with the whole thing with like Korra and Asami being in love, and it's just
Oh
like
yeah.
it was one of those things where it's like they couldn't do the traditional like hints that these two had feelings for each other, like what they did with Aang and Katara, or what they
Mm-hmm.
did with Korra and Mako. They couldn't do that with Korra and Asami because Nick was like, "Yeah, this is a touchy subject,"
Mm-hmm.
So they had to make it like so nuanced that people didn't even really. It almost didn't even make sense when they finally did. It was just like, wait a second, since when did this happen?
Yeah.
And they're like, you got to go back, like when Korra was hurt, Asami wrote her letters, and it was like, so fucking what? Like, what is that? That means she's a lesbian now? Like, I don't get it. It's like I don't care. So, like I said, if they had free control, I think it probably would have been a lot better. If it was on a different network, it probably would have been a lot better. If they
Yeah.
had more time, it probably would have been a lot better. I don't put people not liking Korra on the writers. Like they just were dealt a bad hand,
Mm-hmm.
and they did the best they could. I don't know how I feel about this new thing that's coming out. The new, have you seen it?
What?
The new Avatar,
Oh
the
yeah.
Earthbender guy.
Yeah.
I haven't
I don't
watched it yet.
know.
I haven't watched it yet.
I
I
haven't
don't even
either.
know. I don't even know if it's out yet. But I heard about it and I saw some pictures, and I don't know. I'm gonna wait to
I'm on
see
the
like,
fence about it.
yeah, I gotta wait to see what like the general consensus is. Same thing with the One Piece live action. Like I'm optimistic about it because the guy who's running it seems like like a real One Piece fan,
Mm-hmm.
like a hardcore fan. So I'm optimistic about it. But same, like when it comes out, I'm not watching it immediately. I gotta wait. I did the same thing with Halo. When the Halo series came out, I didn't watch it. I was like, I'm gonna wait to see what people say because
Mm-hmm.
I'm not even gonna set myself up to just be sitting there angry. And then of
Yeah.
course the verdict was in, and everybody was like, it sucks. And I was like, all right, I'm
Mm-hmm.
not watching it. So we'll see. Live action animes are always tough,
Yeah.
but we are nearing the end of our time. Tariq, did you have anything else that you wanted to mention?
There was actually one theory about One Piece. I don't know if it was a theory, but
Let me hear it.
I'm like convinced that it actually happened. But I'm pretty sure it's pretty obvious. I'm pretty sure Crocodile is a woman. Used to be a woman.
So it hasn't been explained yet. I don't know if it ever will be. I don't know if it ever will be something that is said in the story. I think
Mm-hmm.
that will be like an SBS like questionnaire, thing.
Yeah.
I don't know if that'll ever be a true plot point in the story. It
I don't
was
think
for the
it'll.
sake it was for the sake of Impel Down,
Mm-hmm.
and it was funny, and it was good to like get the theories. It was good to get the theories going.
I
But
mean,
I
it was
don't
a.
think I don't think Oda will ever really go into detail with that in the story. I think that'll be a SBS or like,
Yeah.
like something that he puts out on the side, just to
It was.
kind of add to the lore and to the overall story.
It was just something interesting to think about.
Yeah, but I have heard that. I've heard people take it as far as that Crocodile is a woman and that he's Luffy's mom.
His mom, yeah.
I don't think that's
I don't think
that
that's
makes no sense. I don't think
the
Crocodile could be around Luffy for that long. First of all, why would he why would he try and kill him 3 times?
if he knew it was his son.
Exactly. He wouldn't try and kill him 3 times. Second, I
Yeah,
don't think he could be around Luffy for that long as an ally and not say something.
yeah,
Like we don't even know if Crocodile knows Dragon,
that's true.
let alone if he's Luffy's mom or if he's a woman. The thing about
Hmm.
him being a woman makes sense.
Yeah,
That's the general like theory that people have of like, why Ivankov, that
it's a
secret that
secret
he's
only
talking
he
about. Yeah.
knows.
Yeah, yeah. That's the general theory, is that Crocodile used to be a woman. And I mean, it wouldn't be a shock
It wouldn't be a shock.
because it's it wouldn't be a shock because Oda has clearly done that before. Like we've seen, like One Piece is one of the few shows where we've seen like trans characters, gay characters.
Yep.
Like it wouldn't be a shock where it's like, oh my god, he's doing that. Like we're really going there. Like in this story, like there are plenty of we saw it in Impel Down. Like there are
Mixer
plenty of
too.
characters. Yeah, yeah. So it wouldn't be
He
a
was
shock.
he was the first one.
He was.
I felt yeah, he was the first one when he went to Alabasta. He was like the first gay character that was like
Oh
introduced. I'm pretty
yeah,
sure.
yeah, yeah. I think so. I think so. Yeah.
And-
He I think so.
Yeah, and then when Luffy
Yeah.
went to Impel Down, he saw Ivankov and all of them. And then when Sanji was stuck on that island,
Yep.
they introduced more.
Yep. Yeah. Because if Crocodile was a woman, he would probably be like a Bonnie, like Jewelry Bonnie, like a
Yeah.
really like more masculine or like tomboy type
Hmm.
of woman. And Jewelry Bonnie changes herself all the time, but for a different purpose and in a different way.
Yeah.
But yeah, I wouldn't be shocked. That's one of those theories that's like, see, that's the thing. There's so much going on in One Piece that you can theorize about stuff like that, and it has
Yep.
nothing to do with. It has nothing to do with like the actual story.
Yep.
Like that has literally nothing to do with the One Piece, nothing to do with the Void Century or the history of the world or like any of the
Uh-uh.
bigger mysteries that are really like pertinent to the main storyline. But it's still like it's still interesting enough that people sit there and think like, damn, I wonder if Crocodile's Luffy's mom. Because even then, like, how many shonen, how many anime or manga do you know of where you make it to 1,050 chapters and you don't know the protagonist's mom? Like, we don't
that's
even
a,
know who Luffy's mother is.
that's yep.
Like, it's so much stuff that Oda just doesn't give us for the purpose of you'll figure it out later.
Hmm.
Like even with Roger, like, did you know that they actually show Rayleigh all the way back in like episode 4 or 5?
They did.
Yep. And Buggy's flashback when they show him on the ship arguing with Shanks, and like somebody older comes and tells him to knock it off.
Oh
It's Rayleigh.
yeah. Oh shit. Wow, that's what I love about One Piece.
Yep. And even then, we don't find out whose ship that they were on together until the end of Water 7.
Yeah. When Frankie found out that Tom was the one who actually built the Oral Jackson.
Yep, yep. And that's when we finally see Whitebeard and Shanks meet. And Whitebeard says like, "Oh, it seems like just yesterday you were an apprentice on
Yep.
Roger's ship." And everybody's like, "What?" And then it's like, "Well, wait a second. That means Buggy was an
That
apprentice
means
on Roger's ship."
right, that means Buggy was also an apprentice.
Yeah. But then it's like at the same time, Buggy's not weak. Like
He's not.
technically, he didn't even lose to Luffy in that first fight. Like
Mm-mm.
Luffy and Nami jumped him.
Yeah, pretty much. It's
Like
just that he's around stronger characters.
exactly, exactly. He's one of those people that he purposely puts himself around weak people,
Mm-hmm.
but not even to fight, just so he can manipulate them, just so he
Yep.
doesn't have to fight. But
Yeah,
he
pretty
can.
much.
But he actually can fight, and
Mm-hmm.
his devil fruit is useful and it comes in handy. People are like everybody, knows that meme that there's only one person in the world that could beat Mihawk.
Oh yeah.
because he
Because
can't cut him.
his sword literally can't cut him.
Yeah, because he can't cut him. So it's like, Buggy's not a weak character, but he is a gag character for sure.
Yeah,
And the fact that they made this man a warlord.
I know. That was the. Oh my god! When I watched 3D2Y, I was like, when the fuck did he make this man a warlord? He didn't even do
Yep.
shit in a Marineford.
But they showed it. They showed it. They showed it in the post-war arc when Luffy goes back to Marineford with Rayleigh,
Yep.
and everybody's getting the newspapers. When Buggy gets the newspaper about Luffy going back to Marineford, he also
Yep.
gets a letter from the world government.
Oh yeah, he did. Yeah.
So that's
Wow.
that's when they invited him, because before that they were talking. You saw the Gorosei saying like, "Oh, we got 2 vacancies now in the 7 warlords. We
Yep.
got to replace them."
Mm-hmm.
So they ended up choosing Buggy.
That's crazy.
Because the way that it was presented, on the TVs and everything, was that Buggy was like one of the masterminds.
Mm-hmm.
And then, of course, he had his crew. He took in Elvita's crew, and then
Yeah.
he added all the prisoners from Impel Down that broke out,
Yep.
which became a part of his crew. So his crew was like was really strong.
Mm-hmm.
So at that point, he pretty much is a warlord.
Yeah.
But compared to Yonko and like guys like Luffy and Blackbeard
Mm-hmm.
and all them, it's like he's still a piece of shit.
Yeah.
Which is funny, like where Luffy is now. You think about him fighting some of the characters that he fought before, like
I was
Luffy now
yeah.
versus Arlong. Like, oh my god,
He would have killed Arlong.
he would have killed Arlong by accident. Like,
even without second gear. He's
Yeah.
like,
yeah, he would have destroyed like some of his toughest fights. Luffy versus Arlong, Luffy versus Crocodile. Luffy could kill Crocodile right now.
yeah, pretty much.
Like, and Crocodile came this close to killing Luffy 3 times. Luffy
Mm-hmm.
would beat Smoker. Like,
And
so
like
many
after
people.
he learned hockey, he is like Logia don't even mean shit to him no more.
Exactly. He could beat Kizaru, probably.
Yeah.
Well, no. I don't know if he could beat Kizaru.
I don't know if he can.
Well,
he could probably hold his own.
Well, this is a little bit of a spoiler. Where Luffy is now in Wano, he could beat Kizaru.
Really?
He could beat Kizaru. I'm not going to say, I don't know if it'll be easily, but it might be easily. Like, he
might be easily. Oh
he
god.
He might be able to easily beat Kizaru. By easily, I mean like not a one shot, but like Luffy might not walk away with. He might not bleed. Like,
Really?
it might be that bad. Again, we haven't seen Kizaru really post time skip, so
that's true.
So I don't know if Kizaru has gotten any stronger. Aokiji and Akainu did when they fought each other.
Oh yeah, and made Punk Hazard the way it was.
Right. But Kizaru, we have no idea what level he's at now.
Yeah.
But Luffy could beat Fujitora.
Mm-hmm.
Like, in the Admirals, people sleep on the Admirals sometimes, but
yeah,
the Yonko are definitely on a different level.
Mm-hmm.
And Luffy's close to like up there with them. So
wow, I gotta read more.
Yeah, and when you finish, because you're in Dressrosa, when you finish the next arc, which is, well, there's a small arc in between, but when you finish the next bigger arc, which is Whole Cake Island,
I've heard about that arc.
Yeah, when you
I think
finish
when we get a little bit more about Big Mom.
Right. When you finish that, you'll see why like Luffy is regarded a lot higher now.
Okay.
Because I'll be honest with you, where he is now, Luffy could probably easily beat Doflamingo as well.
Easily?
Like the amount that he advances in the next 3 arcs alone is crazy.
Wow.
Not even 3, because the next arc immediately after Dressrosa, like I said, it's a short one and nothing really happens.
Mm-hmm.
not nothing happens. I shouldn't say that, but there's not the same level of like intensity as Dressrosa. But
Okay.
in the two arcs following that, Whole Cake Island and Wano, the amount that Luffy advances in just those two arcs is like if you took Luffy's entire journey from East Blue to the end of the Grand Line, like to Sabaody when they first got to it,
Yeah.
Luffy is advanced faster in these two arcs than he did in that whole first half of the story.
Damn.
Like in that whole first half of the story, Luffy learns second gear, third gear,
Mm-hmm.
and he unlocks his haki, but he
Yep.
doesn't learn how to use it. In that whole first half of the story, that is about as much advancement as Luffy gets
Mm-hmm.
in terms of getting stronger. In these past two arcs, Luffy has advanced more than he did. I might even include the 2 year time skip. Like he's gotten so much stronger in these past two arcs, it's crazy.
Wow.
Like crazy. But the reason why is because he's been fighting a lot.
Yeah, that's.
He
I
like
would assume so.
he's been fighting almost constantly. So, you know, like I think it was Garp or Rayleigh that said, hockey blooms in the heat of battle.
Mm-hmm.
So it makes sense. Like it hasn't felt rushed at all. But
Mm-hmm.
when you look back on it, it's like he's advanced more in these past two arcs than he did in an entire first half of the story. In a crazy amount. All of them have really. They've all gotten power ups. But I won't spoil it for you as far as what is what. Like
This I gotta read.
yeah, you got it. You got to catch up, and then I got to catch up. So we both got homework. You got to catch up in One Piece,
Yep.
which will be a lot harder for you, and I got to catch up in Jujutsu Kaisen because I'm still
Which
not
should
caught up.
it shouldn't be hard for you.
No, no. But you know what happened? I was gonna read it after the season ended because that's always what I do. Whenever there's a new anime, I'll watch it, and then
Mm-hmm.
if I like it, I'll just start reading the manga
Yep.
before the second season starts. I was gonna start reading it. Serai spoiled it for me,
Oh yeah, you told me.
and I was like, "What's the point of read?" She spoiled like major stuff for me, so I was just like, "What's the point of?"
Wow.
She told me Megumi dies. Uh, like she told me so much stuff, and I was just like, there's no point in reading it. Yeah,
Oh my
like,
god.
so I was just like, all right, well, I guess but I got her back though later on when I started reading Jujutsu Kaisen. I mean, when I started reading Tokyo Revengers, and I passed her, I spoiled her on
Good.
some stuff,
Good.
so I got her back. Now she knows better. If she tries to spoil me on anything, I'll spoil her on something. But yeah,
Yeah, you
so
get your
I gotta
payback.
I gotta get caught up. I gotta get
Same.
caught up, and I think that's it, everybody. So
Yep.
thank you for hanging out with us. Next week we will check back in, of course, see where the progress is. Next week I might be caught up on Jujutsu Kaisen by next week. I might be.
Hopefully by next week I might be like towards the near of Whole Cake Island. Cause
Yeah,
I'm about to be over Dressrosa.
yeah. Cause reading Dressrosa is a lot faster than watching it.
Yeah.
Watching it was hell. Watching Dressrosa and Whole Cake Island were tough. Actually, I didn't watch all of Whole Cake Island. I didn't watch all of it.
Mm.
But reading it, see, that's the thing with a lot of these stories is like reading it week to week versus binging it straight through is such a different experience. A lot of
Mm-hmm.
people did not like, now I wouldn't say did not like Whole Cake Island, but they felt like it dragged on.
Mm-hmm.
But if you go back and you just binge it straight through, it actually is a pretty good read. But waiting for it to come out week to week, it was tough because it's kind of it spends a lot of time in like one fight, and it's
Uh,
like week to week, it was kind of like, damn, we're still here. But when you go and just binge it straight through, it's not actually that bad. Wano's kind of the same way. Wano's kind of the same way, but it'll fly by for you.
mm-hmm.
But yeah, so next week I should be caught up. Tyrese will be further ahead, and we'll talk about what you've seen.
Yep.
And that's a wrap, people.
Yep.
Peace
Thank
out.
you.
Oh,
See you.
almost put up my middle finger. Peace out.